Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 51 of the iTunes Fanboy Podcast. As always, I am Teddy Maggart from the iTunes Fanboy.
I'm Tabby Cat.
My name is Alpha DeWolf.
And as always, we are very excited to be back with some exciting tech news. The first bit we have today is that iOS 17.1.
So last week, of course I had to scrap the video, but because of a lot of issues that came while producing it and uploading. But I said I had no burn-in or image retention issues on my 15 Pro. So
I saw the tweet.
A couple days ago. Yeah. So my 15 Pro started to have random image retention issues. And, of course, I updated, and it's fine. No idea how that worked. But, also, I started to kind of have a little bit of overheating issue. Not really an issue, I just took the phone out of its case one day, and I noticed that it was way hotter than it should have been. But it didn't affect how I used it, so it's like, it's not really an issue to me. So, just a couple of things. I guess it is... I hate having to scrap the video, but, I guess if I revise that video this week, I will have to put in the fact that I've been dealing with this stuff.
Is it after you updated it, or...?
The update fixed it. So I'm not having any, I don't know about overheating, but I'm not having any image retention issues or anything.
That's pretty cool and impressive.
Weird. I assume it's something to do with the display controller. Probably not set up properly. No, just
So what about the burn-in? Is that actual burn-in, or was that remnants
it's
of image
retention.
so it's just image retention?
Yeah, but one other thing that I also noticed, let me confirm this. It's something that's kind of on and off. When checking my battery health and examining it in Coconut Battery, it's reading kind of lower, reading in like the 100.5 to 101 range. When I got it, it was reading around 104 or 105. Just a interesting thing that I picked up on.
I hope Apple didn't mess with their battery design or something, because
Apparently it's,
14's
like, more
battery drain's
recyclable.
kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
The 14 Pros, those things went way down.
Yeah,
I don't know.
kind of concerning to me.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year for Apple.
Yeah, I hope the 15 Pro line doesn't have that, because they seem to be taking a lot of heat right now for, well, the overheating issues, supposedly, and image retention. What else? Like, supposedly titanium was going to be
bending.
the best thing that happened to the 15 Pro series. Yeah, it seems like it's
Now
one of the
everyone hates
worst
it.
things that's happened to it.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of my friends, he used to be a tech YouTuber. He kind of stopped. He just kind of moved on. He pretty much said to me, he said he's got a 12 right now. He says it's slow as can be. He wants to upgrade. But he said he's scared of the 15 Pro after I've told him about it. And he's looking at a 14 now, and I'm like, I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
He's got a 12 right now, and apparently it's like really scratched up because he doesn't use a case. But honestly,
Does the regular
15 seems
15
like,
series appeal to him, or does he have to go Pro?
right now he's not going Pro. I'm gonna ask him actually right now what he
Because
thinks about the normal 15.
to me,
Yeah, 'cause
the
they don't
iPhone
have those same
15
kinds of
regulars is the one to
issues.
go for this year.
Right. I just asked him, what do you think about the normal 15? I would honestly recommend the normal 15 over the Pros this year.
Oh, can I have a hot take?
'Cause,
If I were to upgrade this year, which I'm not, because A, I don't have the finances, and B, it's not necessary, but If I had to upgrade to one of the new iPhone 15s that came out this year, gun pointed to my head, I have to pick one. I think I'd go 15 Plus.
15 plus.
A 15 Plus Alpha, those are so overpriced.
I mean, not really, because
Well, let me point out, Teddy,
good.
you're the person who would buy a $450 iPad 10.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's fairly priced, but the iPhone 15, but it's also a lot less money than an iPhone 15 Plus. And
But
you
you
have
use
to
your phone
consider
more
the
than
fact
your
the 15 Plus doesn't have it doesn't have the titanium edges, which I personally like. It doesn't have the cool camera. It doesn't have a good of a camera. It definitely doesn't support recording an external SSD, which is a feature I really like. Doesn't have the
You know what the
A7.
issue with the SSD is, right?
What did you
You can
say?
only do that in ProRes. You can only record to an external SSD in ProRes.
Well, okay.
So
I guess it doesn't matter.
Filling up, you're going to be filling up those SSDs like that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But the thing about titanium, I get the appeal, but after you have it, you put a case on it, take the phone out of the case, you see a bunch of dents. You wish that it was just aluminum, not even stainless steel, unless it's matte stainless steel. But still, I don't like the weight of stainless steel.
Here's the reason why I'd go 15 Plus if I had a gun pointed to my head and I had to upgrade to the brand new iPhones this year. I know I do not have the popular opinion about this, but I prefer the ringer switch over the action button. That's one reason. Second reason...
Oh, yeah, the action button.
Yeah, that's
Action
another
button's
reason.
overrated.
Yeah, it really is, in my opinion. I prefer the ringer switch. It's...
No, yeah, I like the action button because it's easier for me to like click to silence or unmute whatever my phone, than it was the ringer switch because I use kind of thicker cases, OtterBox, Symmetry. Right now I'm using the speaking case.
Oh yeah, I use thick cases too. But the reason why I love the
right.
ringer switch compared to the action button, you can feel if it's in the on position or off position versus a button. You got no clue.
That has been noticeable for me.
So
I don't
yeah.
really. I don't.
Something that people don't really know about. Real quick, I haven't announced this anywhere, but I have an 11 Pro Max too. I carry it around because sometimes whenever my main phone is like charging, I just leave it on the plug. I don't mess with it. So I just have this thing for like replying to text real quick. But the ringer switch on this, I use it less than the action button, but it's easier to tell, if it's in mute. And I can definitely see your point there. I can definitely see the appeal.
Yeah, because I use... If I had a phone with the action button, I would not change its default function. Its default function is the ringer. I would not change it. But because I am constantly using this switch all the time, to me, the ringer switch itself is a power user feature. And it's kind of backwards how, in theory, this customizable action button is supposed to be more power user in terms of a feature, but I'd argue that this switch is more of a power user feature for my uses and intents. So, and that's just one of the many reasons why I'd do 15 Plus over regular 15s. I've also discovered that in terms of the camera setup, yes, I'd be losing it on ProRes. I don't use ProRes yet, but that's because I just can't work with that type of storage just yet. But I don't think I'd be missing out on zoom because there are times where I find that my 13 Pro Max's 3x zoom, it's too much, while the 2x on my XS Max is just fine. And you don't lose that much quality because the 15s now have the 48 megapixel camera and you still get 12 megapixel 2x zoom photos.
100%, and with the 2x camera, I think my 14 Pro had it. I don't really remember. My 15 Pro has it. I use this more than one time. Consistent, way more than one time zoom. I don't really use one time zoom. 2x zoom, it's just more comfortable.
All right. Well, I have more points about why the iPhone 15 Pro is better than the 15 Plus. Number one. I personally don't use the actions button to mute the switch, and even though I don't really I don't memorize things, but I feel a lot, so I don't. So I would still have to look at my phone and know which position it's in. And I use an R box case on my iPhone 14 Pro. It has the mirror switch. Have to open up a flap in order to access it, so it's not the easiest for me to use anyway. But even so, I would, if I had the action button, I would program it to open up the camera app, because the camera app is what I use a lot. And other points about the 15 Pro over the 15 Plus is that, well, first is that with the 15 Plus, it's cheaper to get a technically better phone than the iPhone 14 Pro. Than the iPhone 4. It's technically easier to get a cheaper phone, but better phone being the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So you might as well just not. And at least for me, that's not worth. It's more worth it just to buy that. And also, I know this is going to be sounding like a bit of a stupid reason, but with the benefit of the 15 Pro, of buying a Pro iPhone, is that you get, because Apple's now handing down the Pro features to next year's following year's standard iPhones. As a result, you can feel like you have the latest iPhone for 2 whole years versus 1, which is pretty cool. And also, if you buy a Pro iPhone, you just feel more special.
Well, here's the thing about buying a 14 Pro Max over it. They're not comparable. 1, lose the warranty. 2, you're going to get a used device or refurbished, whatever. 3, if you get a used device, it's going to have damage. People use their phones. Nobody's perfect.
And also, we were just talking about battery degradation.
Mm-hmm.
That actually makes me nervous for
so battery degradation wouldn't matter to me. In that case.
And there's one other thing that I'd still tell people to buy the 15 regular series over the 14 Pro series. USB-C.
USB-C? Yeah.
I don't care. I don't really care about USB-C because I still have a lot of devices that use Lightning nonetheless. So as a result,
what I'm hearing is you're saying that for your uses, better.
Yeah.
But for the majority of people, if you
for them,
because my biggest thing, the weight. 14 Pro Max is a heavy phone. 15 Plus is kind of lightweight.
Okay, I do agree with Tabby in the sense that the 15 and 15 Plus are better than the 14 and 14 Pro Max for everybody, because not everybody has the technical skills like me to buy used devices. However, if I had to pick a 15 or 15 Plus over a 15 Pro or 15 Pro Max, it would be the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max, because I also like the colors on the Pro phones better than the standard iPhones.
Well, that and because we're also smartphone power users, it makes sense, but...
Yeah, I would go with the Pro any day. I would recommend the Pro to maybe 1 out of 5 people. I like the Pro. I like my phone a lot. It's been an outstanding phone for me. But a lot of people hate this phone. A lot of people have had a lot of really bad experiences with this, which I understand because I've dealt with that on phones in the past.
The weird thing though with the 15 series is that last year I noticed how a lot of the people that were upgrading were upgrading from 14 bought more 14 Pros than standard 14s, but this year I know a few kids at my school now that have 15s and 15 Pluses, but I haven't seen anybody with a 15 Pro yet.
Yeah.
I'm realizing this more and more. The 15s, the regular series this year, they got a lot of meaningful upgrades for the people who buy it, for the average Joe.
They did. Yeah, they did for the average Joe. Now, granted, they're just basically an iPhone 14 Pro, and it would make more sense to keep selling a 14 Pro, but still, it's not like the regular 15s are bad phones for the average consumer. And as a tech YouTuber, Casey Neistat tweeted one, I think that's how you pronounce his name, tweeted once.
Casey Neistat.
Whenever he makes tech videos, he doesn't. Casey Neistat. Yeah, he doesn't like to focus on specs because he just wants to focus on the experience of the phones. And to be honest, the 15 and 15 Plus, they have a good experience. Heck, I even have a good user experience on my iPhone 5 for that matter.
I mean, if you enjoy having no cell service,
I know.
enjoy having USB 2.
Yeah, well, the point is, when you're trying to market stuff to people who aren't savvy about all the specs, just listing off the specs anyway, how are those selling points to them if it's something they don't understand? You have to meet with them on their level. And so, yeah, oftentimes it's not the specifications that drive it. Not even for pro users all the time. It's not always hardcore specs that will define whether you should get this phone or not. User experience is a factor. It's one of the reasons why I left Android, despite that, yeah, you could get some amazing stuff for a cheaper price than this, but you're not going to get the same user experience as this at the end of the day, and that's why I spent more money on this, despite that I got an Android phone free for Christmas.
Yeah, I 100% understand that.
Well, speaking of user experiences and how you have to pay more for experiences, I guess we should segue on to our next topic now, which is that Apple TV Plus, Apple News Plus, and Apple Arcade are receiving price increases.
Okay, so all their useless garbage, except for Apple TV Plus, it's kind of cool, is getting...
I still have my subscription.
Oh.
TV Plus is kind of nice. There was a couple good shows on there. There's a good movie.
Yeah, Apple TV Plus is sort of cool, but again, with the Hollywood strike and all that, this could not be a worse time to raise prices since there's not much new content coming out anyways because the
Is there
strike
anybody who's not on strike these days?
The Hollywood strike, which just recently ended, still means their content production is halted for a little bit. So as a result, Apple TV Plus has to now charge. So this could not be a worse time for Apple TV Plus to raise their prices. Now, to be fair, I understand they may have had to raise the prices and account for the Hollywood studios having to account for the actors and writers' larger salaries. Though, that still just goes to show you how Hollywood's dying.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of it is just they realized they weren't going to turn that much profit. Oh, didn't it start at like $2.99? Apple TV Plus in like 2000.
No, it was $5 a month.
$4.99.
It was $1.99.
$4.99. But if you bought an Apple device, you used to be able to get a year free of free Apple TV Plus, so they changed it.
I took full advantage of that when I got my XS Max.
So did my family.
Yeah, I don't watch it as much as I used to, but I still keep that subscription because they've put some stuff out there that fairly decent.
I don't know what kind of stuff you're into. Have you watched Palmer?
I actually don't like to watch a lot of the adult movies because, well, I mean, I'm not trying to say it sound like I watch a lot of kids movies, but the reason why I don't like watching a lot of adult movies is because, like, I've seen what my dad watches on Netflix, and a lot of it is just bang, bang, bang. It involves a lot of guns or...
Same.
Yeah, you might want to cut that out. So
the point is, it involves a lot of adult maturity type stuff, and I don't like that it always has to be that way.
Yeah.
Like, why do most adult movies have to be that way?
Yeah.
I hate how the movie and film industry, especially in terms of Hollywood, between adults and kids, it's hardcore kid stuff, basic learning, and nothing that the adults are interested. And then on the adult side, it's all stuff that your kids definitely should not be watching at all. And I hate how we have this huge division like that. I wish that there was a blend, which
So
I
do
found one
I.
show I found one show where there's a blend.
What is it?
I made a whole video on the vlog channel about it.
Bluey.
Yeah.
Bluey?
Yeah.
I have a friend who's into that.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. There are a ton of adults who watch that show.
Oh yeah, I've seen the Community.
So, yeah, I wish we had more shows. Maybe not taking on cartoony animation, but I just wish there was more shows and movies that were designed for all ages instead of having to hyper focus on one age and one age only, basically.
Right.
I do not like this in the film industry. It's kind of the reason why I don't watch as much movies as I used to.
Same.
And oftentimes now I'll end up watching shows just because of either the art style or something like that. But like what initially got me hooked into TV Plus. Hold on, I gotta find it.
Those Wolfwalkers.
Yep, that's the show. And I just got hooked on the animation on it for the most part.
Show is it?
It's not a show, it's a movie actually. It's called Wolfwalkers. It released a couple of years ago. Let's see. Can I get it to show me more? Show me the page. Here it is. Yeah, this show. Or not show, movie.
I haven't heard of that.
I saw your Alpha's tweet about it a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's a lot of what my general binge watching has become. It's not focused on the content itself. It's more, if it's animated, it's the animation style. And if it's not, then, well, yeah, it's hard for me to get into watching a movie because it just, it follows the trend where it just targets a specific age demographic, and it's not fun to watch.
A lot of times when I sit down to watch a movie nowadays, a lot of times it's just a really old movie because Hollywood didn't used to be that way. As my family just recently watched the original Karate Kid movie, and have you seen it?
Yeah, I have. It's real good.
It is so good. I remember that line where when the bully goes, "Hey, just got this," and he shows off his brand new Corvette.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Yeah, it's a real shame where the majority of the film industry has gone. And I'm glad I found one outlet, and I watch it with my sister most of the time. But it's sad to see where the film industry has gone. Oftentimes when I look at it's there's not that many new movies I watch today, and oftentimes it's just looking back at old movies that we already have on DVD, like The Great Race. I love that movie so much.
I've never seen that.
Oh, it's an old movie. I think it was back when color just became a thing. Maybe when animated effects started to become a thing, because there were two scenes, despite this being a very old movie, where they added a sparkle to one of the characters' eyes. And yeah, let me see if I can find it on the TV store. The Great...
I think
it's a long one. It's a long one. It's 2 hours. 2 hours 40 minutes.
A couple of years ago, when I asked on Twitter what everybody's favorite classic movie was, I remember you responded that, and so I looked it up.
Yeah. There are so many funny one-liners. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard me say this one-liner before. Push the button, Max!
No.
Yeah, I don't recall if I've ever used it in a few YouTube videos, and I probably should start using it. But yeah, if you ever hear me say, push the button, Max, it's a one-liner from... Well, it's not really a one-liner, but it just became so funny throughout the entire movie.
Well, in other news, Apple News Plus and Apple Arcade. I mean, Apple News Plus. Like, who is actually subscribed to Apple News Plus alone without being part of Apple One?
Who subscribes to news outlets in general? Who pays money for news?
I don't know anybody that pays for news.
I mean, back then you paid money for the newspaper, but nowadays
no one pay. You don't need to.
Yeah, like, what do you need to pay all these corporate biased news publications for when we've got social media in our fingertips?
I know, right? That's why I just go to Twitter for all my news, because I just don't like, because I don't understand the purpose of paying for news.
That, and oftentimes news articles, they'll have their biases, and you're not getting the full story.
But at least on Twitter, even though everybody's biased on Twitter, they have good opinions on Twitter that make you can see everybody's sides on Twitter.
Yeah, because it's not filtered out. So, yeah, just who pays for news nowadays? I'm surprised that this industry where you pay for news still exists, because social media is essentially now our new news outlet. Despite that, yeah, it's often filled with gossip or who knows what crap is on the internet. Our news outlets are now basically transitioned to social media at this point. Like, how do I find out about all the Apple news and EV news when I make videos on either of my channels? It's not by reading anything from Bloomberg or The Electric. No, it's all YouTube videos and tweets. So, but can anyone tell me why you would pay for news?
I don't know, but Apple Arcade, on top of that, that's receiving a price increase, and I think I know one person who might pay for Apple Arcade independently, but otherwise, I don't know for anybody who pays for Apple Arcade.
None of the games are that good.
Yeah, and on top of that, Apple is so desperate to get people to sign up for Apple Arcade that even if you just sign in on a new device, you automatically get 3 months free.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I wouldn't know because it's a part of my Apple One subscription, so... Do I ever use it, though? No, I'm not a gamer. I don't know how to stress this enough, but... I hate it when I've made videos talking about Windows and PCs. They all assume that I am a gamer. I'm not.
Yeah, if I...
Do I now have to make this disclaimer in all my YouTube videos? By the way, guys, I am not a gamer. So, do I have to make this disclaimer all the time now?
I don't know. I think even if I was a gamer, I'd probably game on a PlayStation. I probably would not game on a PC.
When you hear the types of games I'm into, flow free, mobile chess, and console games, I don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is not an unpopular opinion. The Wii, Nintendo Wii, that is the best console ever made.
Well, everybody, they have Switch Sports now too.
So, yeah, that's my idea of gaming. Not all of these first-person shooter games and just no. No, you're not going to find that here. At all.
I was into the FPS games stuff. They're fun, but like yeah, the Wii is definitely really nice.
I've yet to see
I
it
agree.
beaten in terms of experience. Because I don't enjoy
Well, technically they're
sitting,
not really
mashing
better than
buttons on a controller. Like, the Wii brought you into the game because you were actively moving. Compared to just sitting on the couch, mashing buttons, or sitting at your desk, pounding your keyboard and your mouse, and that there's no appeal in that to me.
Yeah. It's kind of stupid to me how Nintendo handled the Wii U compared to the Wii.
Oh, that was so stupid
Because-
how they handled it.
Because I liked the Wii U. I had one. I played it every day.
I still have one.
You have a Wii U?
Not a Wii U. I have the original Wii.
Yeah, I thought it was a Wii, not a Wii U.
Yeah, it's the original Wii.
I've got 3 Wiis and 2 Wii U's, and I would go to the Wii any day. No joke.
Yeah, my grandparents have a Wii U because their old Wii had died on them and they couldn't get it anymore, so they found a used Wii U. Gosh, what a terrible name.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, still, best
You should
console
probably
ever.
cut that out, because, you know...
Yeah, still, best console ever. I wish they would make it again. Like the whole Switch thing?
I don't
No,
know.
screw that. Give me the Wii. Give me the best way to interact with video games again.
I don't know. By the way, Alpha, your audio keeps cutting in and out.
Might be because, well, I know it's not cutting in and out on the recording. It might just be because of my internet connection. It sucks. Like,
Yeah.
how am I moving? Am I all fuzzy and choppy, or?
You're actually fluid. You're fluid now. That's lagging just a little bit. Alright. I guess the next topic I guess we should move on to our next topic now, which is that Apple's new wireless pad can update iPhones in boxes while they're in their boxes, sealed.
Say what
While
now?
they are at the Apple Store. Apple has a wireless pad now for Apple stores that they use in Apple stores that can update iPhones remotely while they're still sealed in their boxes.
Wow.
How do they turn them on? Like, I don't think wireless charging turns the phone on, does it?
Oh, it's not a wireless charger, it's a wireless pad.
No, but the point is, in order to do it, you have to turn the phone on.
It can turn it on remotely. I don't know how it works.
All right, I'm running a test right now.
Crazy.
Okay, we are going to shut down this iPhone. Because last I checked, you had to plug your phone into a physical cable in order to turn it on without pushing the power button. Alright, the phone is powered off. I have my wireless charging stand here. Doesn't even respond. Let me try my MagSafe charger. Oh, it's turning on.
Okay.
It turns on when I put it on the MagSafe charger. Because, yeah, the Apple logo's still here. Just made the chime. And, yeah, I'm back on the lock screen. I hope in their protocol of
That's cool.
updating the device, it reshuts it down. Because... well, then
They
the
can turn it
batteries
back
are
off
just going to drain.
again.
Like, I hope. Well, I know it's bad news for you then, Teddy.
Does Tabby have any?
I think it's kind of stupid, but
Yeah, so do I.
To me,
No,
it's just
it's
a waste of
stupid because
resources. Just
it's a
update the
control
phone
thing.
when you take it out of the box.
Control over the Apple
Yeah.
wants control over the devices.
I mean, I guess it's so that way people can
perspective.
set up their iPhones quicker without having to update them, but you can cancel not updating them. Don't have to
Even
update them if you don't want to.
even then, during setup,
to
it doesn't
restart from the
ask you to
backup.
update right away like Android does.
Unless you're restoring from a backup, then a lot of the times, well, backup is made on a newer version. Will be, then you do have to update,
Hmm.
which has annoyed me more than one time.
Yeah, I can understand that. Sounds like a waste of resources to me, but oh well. I guess
Well, I thought you'd be
if
more
you wanna
upset
talk
about this
waste of-
because I thought you'd be more upset about it because now that means you can't get the iPhone on its original version of the operating system, as you always look for iPhones with their original version of the OS.
oh yes, oh that. That's
You're not just
actually-
realizing this now, are you?
I am. I'm not. I'm not realizing this now, but this is making me. I'm hiding my sadness a little bit, but that is. But I am actually a little bit upset about it since I can't get them on lower firmwares, which means that they're not going to be worth quite as much. So you basically
Guess
just
that
to
means
buy
you'll have
them
to
from the
pre-order.
first
Get it on launch day.
Yeah, yay! Fun for. To be fair, my 14 Pro is already on 16.0.2, though. I guess as long as I can get sometime within the early launch cycle, then it'll be okay. But yeah, that's very annoying for me. That's a little more. That isn't too annoying for me since most people just update their phones anyway. But that's a little more annoying for me. Oh, I just came up with another reason why I'm annoyed that more people keep their phones for longer now.
What might that be?
Oh, because people update them longer. So as a result, because you can't downgrade iPhones back since there aren't as many exploits now, because Apple doesn't let you, this makes finding iPhones on older iOS versions even harder now.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not in the market for. Or it's a good thing I'm never looking for devices to run their original version of the operating system, and I always look for the latest version.
Well, I'm always in the market for devices on their original iOS versions.
I'll give one
As long as
exception.
I'm not saving up for a new MacBook.
I'll give one exception.
The
If I have a
iPhone-
PC,
the
I
first
want Windows
iPhone.
7 on it. Yeah, if I have a
Okay,
PC, I
that's
want Windows
fair.
7 on it. Because no version of Windows that has come out after 7 has been good. None. 8,
Oh,
8.1 supposedly, quote-unquote, fixed it, but who cares? It's basically 8 all over
8.1
again.
are the same thing. 8 and 8.1 are the same thing. Very
Yeah.
minor changes. Change my mind. They still have the stupid Metro UI.
Yeah.
Only things they change
goodness.
is the minor stuff. I use Windows 8. I updated 8.1. It was this thing. I'm
Just you got your taskbar back.
I mean,
That's what I hear. So,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
Windows
sure.
8, not good. Windows 10, oh, you know what disaster
from my
that
memory,
was.
The only thing about the taskbar that was different was the Windows logo in the corner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Windows 10 was also a disaster. And then Windows 11. It's also a disaster.
I don't think Microsoft has made anything good since Windows 7. I think
Yeah?
I do.
maybe
But I get.
maybe I'm biased, but I don't enjoy having my PC have to be restarted every time that some stupid thing comes up.
Oh,
Oh,
I agree.
I hate having to
Well, I
restart
can-
my computer because the mouse doesn't appear.
Yeah, there's just so
Oh boy! Then I
know.
suppose you guys are really going to be excited about our next few topics, because there should all really be bundled into one topic. But You guys should really be excited for these.
Uh-oh.
So Intel has teased a Windows refresh, potentially probably Windows 12, for releasing in 2024, and it's going to focus on ARM PCs. It's supposedly going to focus on AI, which is probably true, and it's going to have a taskbar on the top for like on Mac OS with the time and such on the top, and then the apps on the bottom.
So it's going to be Chrome OS basically, but on Microsoft's platform.
Yeah, or it'll be more like Mac. It'll just be a Mac OS ripoff riddled with AI.
And we thought
And half of
Windows 11 was a ripoff.
Not,
Oh my gosh.
please do. And Windows 12 builds have already leaked, mind you.
There's one rumor about it
Yeah.
that I'm really hoping is not true, because if it is, I might ditch my PC altogether, because I would never do this.
Was it the subscription rumor?
I've heard there's a rumor where they're potentially turning it into a subscription.
That I sort of believe, but Microsoft has since confirmed. But it's since been confirmed by sources that that's false.
I don't trust them. I legit do not trust them.
Though,
Why should I? They haven't been able to build anything good for the past how many years?
and I somehow believe that Microsoft would make Windows a subscription. I mean, they already made Office a subscription. It's not even that special, or it's not even special.
I don't know if they'd make Windows a subscription. I think they'd be the kind of people that'll just kind of go and lie about, false rumors, but I don't know.
They make it a subscription, I'm leaving.
I left when I was unable to change my date and time computer.
And I don't mean leaving like, the only reason why I have a Windows PC is because I need to run SolidWorks.
What would you do if you couldn't run? What would you do if you have to leave Windows?
I'd find a different CAD software. Despite that, yeah, it'd be more convenient to use the same software that, well, everyone uses at the shop, but unfortunately, this is ridiculous. This has gotten so ridiculous.
Like, Microsoft thinks that they have the right to charge people for, like, people's biggest complaint about Mac OS is that Macs is that they're too expensive. Well, try Windows becoming a subscription. Then I don't think Macs are too expensive.
Yeah.
You pay the difference with your time. Windows really does waste your time slowly, I've seen.
Yeah, it does. And yet it claims to be eco-friendly despite wasting your time.
For me, it's always
Right.
waste my time very quickly.
I mean, I don't know how that's eco-friendliness, but when I was using Windows 11 on my XPS, they kept telling me, "Oh, you can reduce your footprint." I'm like, I'm not gonna turn.
I have that same message. I still get it every single day.
Oh, jeez.
What am I gonna do? I hate to say it the way I'm gonna say it. I don't care. Not that big of a deal. I would rather have better performance than whatever they think I'm.
Yeah, the comment I'd always throw back at Microsoft is, "Oh, you're one to talk. You
They
care so
are.
much
They're
about the
being a
environment?
hypocrite.
Then stop wasting my time."
I don't understand how people defend the Windows glitches, because every time you throw that, they're like, "Oh, but Mac has this." It's like, okay, well, you didn't say anything about Windows having issues, so you're pretty much confirming, yeah, it has issues. I can't say anything about it. I don't have any come back to that. I haven't seen a Windows user say anything but "Oh, but with Mac, you can't do this very specific thing." I don't care. when am I going to use that? Do video editing. Not a coder. Oh, you can't replace your SSD. Okay, well, I bought a good SSD. No, a properly sized SSD when I configured my computer. If I needed an SSD, or if I need more SSD storage, I could have bought more SSD storage when I.
Oh my gosh!
Like, sure.
You can't upgrade the RAM.
On a lot of.
Oh, like who? Like who cares within the first 10 years of this computer?
Yeah, a lot of when it comes to speccing out computers, especially when you're buying really expensive ones, most people know what they're getting themselves into, and they'll know the type of specs they need to do what it is they need to do for a while. So needing to change that further down the road, the reason why you need to change that hardware is probably going to be second to other reasons, like maybe the display's broken. Maybe the battery has almost crapped out. Maybe the trackpad's not working anymore, or something like that.
Yeah, like why do people defend Windows? And the problem with Windows users, especially my problem with them, is that most Windows users are too ignorant.
They are.
Well, I wouldn't say it's easy.
Yeah, it's just it's so frustrating every time I have actually interacted with the Windows community, and that's because, and especially I hate this one reason that I always come up with: gaming. Why is gaming a reason to buy a computer? To me, it's just a waste of time. It's not an important part. It's secondary. Work is more important than gaming. How are you supposed to be able to enjoy your time gaming if you have no money?
Yeah.
So to me, work is the more important thing.
And how are you supposed to get money if you don't have a computer that works, that's reliable to do your job?
So yeah, to everyone who buys the gaming PCs, this just drives me nuts. They're like, yeah, I got all these high-end specs so I can get work done just fine, until I see them interact with Windows, and I'm already done doing what I need to do in my Mac, and just, yeah. Yeah, they buy it because, they're a gamer, and on the side, they want to be able to play their games. But because of that, they buy a computer that's more optimized into their fun time than their work time, and, well, it shows. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to me, gaming is a secondary thing at most in terms of ranking it in importance with your computer. Work, to me, is always the most fundamental part of the computer. Can this get what you need to done to make you money? Because that's a lot of the reason why a lot of us will invest a ton of money into our laptops. If we're investing in a laptop to just access the internet to pay our bills or do some general housework, then
people who need that buy an iPad.
Yeah. But when you buy really high-end expensive laptops, no, you're intending to do actual professional grade work. You're intending to make money with this thing. That should be more important than gaming. And because you have a high-end laptop, that means it can be capable of it, and that's fine. I've got no problem with that. But if you treat gaming as primary instead of work, that is where I have most of my issues with.
To be fair, some people make money gaming.
If you're gonna buy a gaming laptop for gaming, or a gaming computer for gaming, I don't have a problem with that. It's your money. Now, where I start to have problems, if you're gonna tell me that my Mac is useless because it can't game, I'm gonna tell you every single reason why your computer, which can run Call of Duty fine but can't run Final Cut Pro, is a piece of crap, and why you wasted your money on it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was back in July when I bought my 14-inch. I was talking to some dude while on an online game, which, I was running on my Mac. I was talking to this dude. He's like, "Oh, dude, I got a 3060 and an i7 and 8 gigs of RAM for $800, and you spent all that on the MacBook for what?" And I'm like, "Well, see, the thing is, you can't run Final Cut." He goes this, "What the hell is Final Cut?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's."
Now, there are
that's
some
kinda why you-"
applications where actually having that type of hardware is useful for work.
Yeah, yeah, and here's the funny part. I said it's video editing, and then he pretty much admitted to me that he's 15 and he doesn't really do anything but sit playing tower defense games online all day. And then he started bragging about all kinds of stuff. "Oh, I'm so," he pretty much described himself as the king of the world. And I was like, okay, well, I can't run Final Cut.
Wait till he takes that thing to college, and then all of a sudden, oh crap, this isn't really an optimized platform for it. Yeah, need better battery, need a more stable operating system, need an operating system that doesn't waste your time with stupid things like the mouse not showing up on boot.
Yeah, and then he's going to college and he's dealing with those updates. Oh god, that's
You're screwed.
I still spend half an hour every morning updating my computer. I really wish I didn't spend that long doing it, but Windows requires it.
It's funny, I don't remember the last time that I had to update my Mac besides to Sonoma, because I did update my MacBook Pro last Thursday after we finished recording. I updated to Sonoma. No regrets so far.
Yeah, Sonoma's been real good.
But,
yeah, I like Sonoma too.
Haven't really been able to use that many of its features, but, no worse than Ventura. I think Ventura was pretty good too. I mean,
I don't like the widgets of Sonoma, but I do, and I still miss, and I hate the rounded corners of macOS Big Sur and Higher so much.
I really like the rounded corners.
Yeah,
I hate them so much because you can't cover a full without entering the full screen macOS, which sucks. You have to, as a result, you can see a little bit of the corners, and that just drives me insane. And whenever I go back to using macOS Catalina, even I'm like, oh, with the better looking icons, I'm like, oh my gosh, I miss this so much. Like, that's actually what I feel every time I use macOS Catalina or lower.
I've actually heard a good amount of people say that, but you know what I say? Catalina looks like it was out of 2007. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think it looks like it's from 2007.
Look, it's not old, but it's definitely. You look at Big Sur, that looks modern. Catalina, compared to Big Sur, it looks old. It looks outdated almost.
Duh. It does, and that's the sad part about a lot of good UIs. Like, unfortunately, as much as I hate to see it, the skeuomorphic UI of iOS, which this is an iPhone that you guys don't know about yet, the skeuomorphic UI looks outdated. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how to describe
definitely,
it.
It looked up to date until like 2016, I'd say, and then it just kind of started to look really bad. Just kind of it just started to.
So.
Alright, well, are you guys ready for now? Does Tabby want to talk about his new iMac G3 like iPhone 15 Pro case?
Yeah, so you guys remember the iPhone 10 iMac G3 Spigen case?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that came out, I kind of wanted one, but at the time, I had the Apple Folio case, the leather one. I loved that case. Great case. But, now that they kind of re-released it, it's like, I knew they're going to get rid of this pretty soon. It's probably in limited run. And if not, the 16 Pro probably won't have the same case because the XS Max, 11 Pros, 12s, 13s, 14s didn't have the Spigen case. seems like it's a one generation every couple of years thing. So I was like, okay, I gotta get this. But
Does the 14 Pro have? Does the 14 Pro have one?
I don't believe so. I don't think the 15 has one either. I think it's only 15 Pro and Pro Max.
Oh man, that sucks.
Oh! That reminds me.
Check.
Have you measured the camera bump?
What do you mean? Compared to like the
If I
14
recall, we talked about how the camera bump had potentially shrunk on the 15 Pro series.
So, it actually did shrink. I haven't measured it in numbers, but it is definitely smaller. Because
Yeah, I'm impressed at Apple for doing that since all the rumors said we gave him bigger.
Thank
it's
you,
kinda cool.
Apple. Thank you.
And-
You're taking a step in the right direction.
At least I get to brag about having the biggest camera bump now.
Yeah, you do. You have the biggest camera bump to smartphone ratio out of all of us.
Yep. Most people actually.
Yeah. Because you have the iPhone with the biggest version of its camera bump.
Yeah, it looks so ugly too to look at it.
It does.
Especially
You know
in
what I
gold,
hate?
it does not look
You know what I hate
attractive.
about the old camera bump is how shiny it was. It just looked so bad.
Yeah, it looks like a stove. Looks like a 70s
Apple
stove, or no, a
What was
50s
Apple thinking?
stove.
I don't know what Apple was thinking.
I don't either.
Awful design. It's so bad. Honestly,
Best design smartphone. I'm holding it right here.
Oh yeah.
The 14 Pros, they just look frog awful.
Yeah, they do.
Oh yes. This is. I have an OtterBox case in it right now to hide most of the phone, and I'm not. And I hate the colors of the 14 Pro so much that I actually tweeted and posted to YouTube community tab, what color should I get? Because I genuinely was stunned. Because I genuinely didn't know which color I should get.
I miss the gold iPhones.
I do
like
too.
those a lot. They
Yeah.
shouldn't have got rid of those.
Yeah,
But they did ruin it in later years.
True.
I actually liked the gold. I liked the gold 14 Pro.
I don't.
Really?
The problem
I know,
is,
it
in
looks
many lights, it actually looks more white than gold.
Yeah, it looks like
Kinda.
it looks like a 70. Yeah, by looking at my camera bump, it looks like a 70s stovetop.
Yeah, the problem with the 14 Pros, especially, I've seen so many videos of supposedly it's the gold one, but it actually looks like the silver on camera. You
Yeah.
could not tell the difference.
I see
It's
a
similar
very
to how the
similar
pink-
thing with the natural titanium 15 Pro with the silver or whatever, white titanium.
Yeah.
Oh
think
yeah,
they
I
look
can.
Pretty
They
similar.
look pretty similar to me too.
Yeah.
They should
Yeah,
just.
meanwhile,
they should
you can
just
tell this is
make
gold,
ones-
right?
Oh yes.
Kinda. It kind of looks tan.
Yeah, it does kind of look tan, but you at
No,
least know this is the gold version of the iPhone.
Yeah. I
Compared
have
to-
problem with like
Yeah.
I have problem with the iPhone 8 Gold through like the 13 Pro Gold. The 12 Pro Max Gold wasn't bad, but I don't like it myself. I think it was a little bit too dark. And sure, making it lighter kind of took a lot of the color away, but I'd prefer the current Gold, or not current because they don't make it anymore.
No, yeah.
Damn you, Apple. But I prefer later generation Gold. To
Best
the,
gold. This is one of the best gold colors right here on my 6S.
You know, the 7 Plus had a good gold, or the 7
Yeah,
Plus.
all aluminum Apple devices and even the iPod Touch 6 and 7 had really good shades of gold.
Yeah, all of the aluminum gold shades were beautiful. That was my favorite. If I had to buy an iPhone from that era, it would have to be gold. Not that pink rose gold.
Except for the 7 and 7 Plus, then I'm going jet black.
7 and 7 Plus had the best color schemes of any iPhone. You had gold.
Oh.
You had jet black. product red. You had that nice silver color, which was really reminiscent of the OG original
Yeah.
2G iPhone. And then you had the matte black, which I didn't like, but it was close to the darkest iPhone, next to like the 5 and the 12 mini. But up until then, we were a dark iPhone since the 5, because space gray looks closer to silver.
Really
It
does.
looks closer to silver than black.
Under the famous words of Justin Long, gray and grayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or under the famous word, or under the infamous, not so famous words of my mom, silver and darker silver.
I never really liked space gray on.
No, I never did either.
6S's.
Oh, the only reason why I like it is because I can cover it up in a case and because the black bezels on it look nice. Otherwise, and I'll bet you that's why most people bought the Space Gray 6 and 6S and even the 5S.
It is, because I was an owner of a Space Gray 6S when it was new. I wanted rose gold. I didn't end up being able to get rose gold. I don't know why I didn't get gold, but of course back then I wasn't going silver. I thought silver was frog nasty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate
kind
it.
of is.
I've always hated space gray, and it doesn't matter what product you put it on. Like, I hated back when the 2016 MacBook Pros got their redesign and all of that. Everyone basically bought the space gray one.
Yeah, I ended up getting the space gray ones because that's all they had in stock, and if I was to get a silver one, I'd have to order it.
Yeah, I despise the space gray ones so much.
Yeah, and then when I actually
Yeah, it doesn't
did
look
get
that
a chance to order my
attractive.
Mac, when I did get a chance to order my Mac, I went for the 16-inch silver, and then I got the 14-inch silver. And I'm back to space gray because I kind of wanted a bit of a change from my last few.
Yeah, I hate space gray so much. In fact, I just wish
only-
they would offer a gold option on the MacBook Pros.
Right.
Oh,
Why
so what do
is
you
that
think
so
about
hard
the
to
iMac
ask?
Pro?
Or even on the iPad Pros. iPad Pros used to have gold. Dude, they don't
True.
now. They used
Didn't
to
they
even
have
have
a rose
rose
gold
gold,
option
for
too?
goodness sake.
What do you think?
Yeah,
of
the
iMac Pro
2016, 2017 ones did.
Alpha, what do you think about the iMac Pro, that 2017 iMac power user machine?
Oh, the iMac Pro, the $5,000 iMac.
Yeah, the one that Linus Tech Tips and all those people, Snazzy Labs, had a big problem with because of stupid mounting and because of the right to repair and whatnot.
Yeah, those are some videos I'm constantly rewatching actually all the time.
2018 was the best year for tech. Early to mid 2018 was amazing for tech. We had the iPhone 10. You know, that thing changed the smartphone landscape. We
And then
had
the
iMac
10R.
Pro.
The 10R.
The 10R really... I don't think the 2018 iPhones really had that much of an improvement compared to the 2017s, because the 10, you had wireless charging.
Oh, yeah.
Which was, you know, you get that OLED display. You get stainless steel. You get a bigger display size. You get, what else? You get all these changes. Then on the 2018...
Dual
iPhones,
camera stabilization.
Yeah. Then
Face ID.
2018 we had... You're right, that was a big one.
That was one of my
2018.
favorites. OLED.
2018 was... The processor was faster.
Yeah.
And it was... There was a cheaper model.
And there's eSIM.
I don't think that anybody...
But yeah, I'd argue
cares
that
about
cheaper 10R, that was the most important iPhone they had released ever in the history of iPhones.
I agree.
It was important. I wouldn't say it's the most important. You know, I'd honestly say the 6 was probably one of the most important ones, because the 6, it brought the iPhone to the really big screens, and it showed people, just how Apple could change the game, kind of. Apple was able to just kind of do whatever, you know? Apple had the ability to really make those nice devices, because up until then everybody knew Apple as all those tiny phones that people buy when they don't want to buy a Droid.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2016 was also important because they got rid of the headphone jack.
Yeah, bold move from them.
Where do you think phones would be if Apple never did that?
The
Still be
AirPods
big and
wouldn't
bulky.
exist or be very popular.
Plastic bags.
Yeah.
Maybe still single
AirPods-
camera. I don't know.
AirPods might not have existed without the 7. I kind of doubt they wouldn't have existed. I feel like no matter what, AirPods would have existed. They wouldn't have been as popular. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Technically
AirPods wouldn't
USB-C
be-
as well. If it weren't for Apple, they've helped develop USB-C. Despite that, they were
12-inch
slow to
MacBook.
adopt it.
12-inch MacBook was the first device that I ever seen with USB-C.
Yeah.
Same.
That was really, really early in.
That was only a few months after USB-C launched.
Yeah, when did it launch? November 2014, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the MacBook launched in March 2015, which, speaking of, I need to get one of those 12-inch MacBooks sometime for my collection once I stop saving up for a new MacBook after this repair for something that I have to talk about.
What happened?
Oh, that's still two topics. That's still a few topics away, or a
Okay,
couple of
hold
topics away.
Anyways, how close are you to your new MacBook?
I'm actually getting pretty close.
Good.
Like, I'll be able to
Numbers, or
have
you're
it
not
sometime in the
comfortable
winter.
sharing
I'll be able to have it in the winter.
that? Oh, okay, that's cool. Good.
Yeah.
But what's the next topic?
Does Alpha want to talk about his new Raspberry Pi?
I haven't gotten it yet. I just ordered it.
Well, do you want to talk about it, or do you want to wait?
Well, I guess I could explain a little bit, but I don't want to talk too much about it because it's the reason why I'm getting it is ultimately for a really big project for both the Drive channel and the Gadgets channel, though I'm going to be doing a lot of experimenting with that thing because in order to build my project, I need to learn Python. It's basically another language of code.
Right.
So,
I have a friend who's into that.
but to me, the whole Raspberry Pi thing is kind of insane because it's a full computer. Processor, RAM, storage, everything you need to make a computer function. It's a full computer in something like yay long, yay tall.
Oh, I've been obsessed with the Raspberry Pi for about 5 years, and I used to have one, though I don't know where it went.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
these
never
things are
able to use it
tiny.
'cause-
So yeah,
Oh,
the one I got was the Raspberry Pi 02W. W stands for wireless connectivity. And unfortunately, something that annoys me with that series is the whole reason why I'm trying to buy Raspberry Pis is because I need their GPIO pins. Except for some reason, this particular Raspberry Pi, the 0 series, doesn't have them pre-soldered.
Oh, jeez. And you don't know how to solder either.
I'm lucky I know someone who does know how to solder, but yeah, so I guess that might be another thing I'll have to dive into at some point. I should learn how to solder, to be honest. I really should learn how to do it.
So I should too, because I'm gonna have to, because at some point I want to get more into vintage Mac collecting, and of course that involves recapping, which of course involves soldering. And I also have some iPods and even some iPhone 2Gs that might be due for new batteries that require soldering.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be a rather fascinating project. Going to learn Python
interesting.
and building a bunch of circuits. And oh boy, the most complicated part that I need to figure out how to get multiple Raspberry Pis to communicate with each other via the GPIO pins. And unfortunately, I would think that there would be a simple YouTube video that would show you how to do this. Turns out, no. Nobody's made a single YouTube video of getting 2 Raspberry Pis to communicate via the GPIO pins.
Weird.
Well, it's just shocking how many people don't make a YouTube video, simple YouTube videos about how to do things. Like a lot of the downgrades I make tutorials for, I actually, after years and years of searching through all the tutorials on YouTube, just trying to figure out which methods work. Then once I finally found a method that works, I made a video about it, and that's actually, and I basically have to go on my own just to go out all on my own, and then upload my video about how to perform a downgrade.
Yeah.
Because surprisingly, many YouTube videos are not that helpful.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so true. So, I mean, it's one thing that constantly intimidates me. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but the terminal on any operating system, every operating system has one, to my knowledge. Like Windows has one, Mac OS has one, Linux has one. The terminal. I find it very intimidating.
Yeah.
I hate it too.
I don't hate it. I understand why it's got to exist. It's
So
just
do
I hate having to deal with it.
Yeah.
Oh, so do I.
User friendliness is the complete opposite way of how you describe that. It is not user friendly at all. You really have to understand what the terminal does in order to use it. The only thing I really know how to do it, and actually I'm a bit rusty on, is encrypting files.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know.
I use Terminal for Pluvia, which is a downgrade tool to downgrade the iPhone 4, but otherwise I don't. And I've used Terminal also in other cases, like to open jailbreak tools up on Macs.
I used to know a dude who says, he started by saying, if you don't know how to do all kinds of terminal stuff, if you don't know how to, do this and that in terminal, you're not a real person. And then the guy went from that, and then he started to say, if you don't know how to do terminal commands, you shouldn't have a computer.
Oh, that's just false.
What do you mean?
That's so false.
I don't know where the dude is now. Knew the dude on Twitter in like 2019, 2020. When I got booted off Twitter, I stopped talking to the dude. Dude's from like a whole different country and all, so I didn't really care to talk to the guy anyway.
Yeah.
But last time I heard, the dude got booted off the website too at some point.
Ooh.
So I guess one too many people didn't like his comments.
Yeah, computers are for everyone. It's just you got to meet them at everyone's level. That's why operating systems are the way they are. They're designed for.
That's why Apple.
Yeah, they're designed for user
friendliness. That's why
friendliness.
Apple released the Lisa.
Isn't like the reason for computers existing supposed to be like to make your life easier?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the literal definition of technology.
It's like I understand wanting to have stuff like that, wanting to be able to mess around in terminal for, tech enthusiasts and whatnot. But hear me out, okay? Why? Unless you're a real enthusiast and you want to know how everything works, a graphical user interface is easier. Just being able to click through that, it's easier.
Oh, I
don't understand.
It's why computers moved away from that type of user interface years ago.
Yeah, that's why Windows XP was so popular. It really made the computer user friendly.
It's why Mac OS is so popular. It's why. It's why whenever people use. It's why okay, a lot of people who use Linux are these computer enthusiasts, but there are some Linux users. Oh, Chrome OS. Chrome OS is technically Linux based.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, not a single Chrome OS user knows how to program.
Most Chrome OS users are kids, so
I know a Chrome OS guy who knows how to program. He's also got a Raspberry Pi of some sort. He's an interesting guy.
Okay, well,
wouldn't
yeah,
recommend
for the
it.
most part, the type of people to use Chrome OS, I'm pretty sure maybe the only programming they know how to do is HTML web stuff, but hardcore, like, we're digging deep into the operating system, getting it to function like that. No, I'm pretty sure they don't know how to do that at all.
Yeah. I don't blame
Yeah.
them. They
Yeah.
buy a computer to have a computer. They don't buy a computer to be screwing with it all day, you know?
That's why a lot of
as
us buy
technology
Macs
said-
and not Windows, because with Windows you have to screw it all day.
That's why that explains Technology Connections quote perfectly. I like to do work on my computer, not work on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He likes to work
Same
on his
here.
computer while he's working on his computer.
But yeah, it's going to be a unique, interesting world I'm diving in with Raspberry Pi. And
Yeah.
Well,
I
we'll be
can't
interested
wait
to
to
hear
show you
more
guys
about the project.
Yeah, I can't. Okay, I can tell you more, but I just have to cut this part out of the podcast. Hey, easy. I'm the editor of the show. I can do anything, basically.
Oh, what is it?
Hey, editor Alpha DeWolf here. Yeah, we said some stuff, and you guys are not allowed to hear this stuff. And this right here is where the stuff used to be. All right. Now that stuff has been said, back to the show.
So, Teddy, what did you end up breaking? What do you have to get repaired?
Or I didn't actually break it, but I guess first of all we have to talk about 2 new iPhones in my collection. The first is this is from one of my dad's friends, being an iPhone 3GS that is a new boot ROM model that is black and is in excellent condition. This is just an 8GB iPhone 3GS running iOS 6.1.6 that works just fine.
Alright.
It's unfortunately harder to downgrade, but this is a pretty good addition to my collection nonetheless, even though I already have 2 3GSs.
Just
But
keep it on, iOS 6.
Yeah, I'll probably downgrade it to iOS 4.1, and maybe if I can figure out how to get that working, which again might require Linux, maybe iOS 3 or something, but I already have a 3GS on iPhone OS 3, so don't know. But I actually got another iPhone from my collection. Now, just to give you a brief overview, do you guys want to guess which iPhone model this is?
It's
Well,
another 4 or 4S.
Nope. I'll give you a hint. It's the most controversial phone on this podcast.
You bought an XS?
Nope, I didn't buy this 10S. This is the 10S right here, in 2 pieces.
What the world did you do to
Oh.
that thing?
What the?
I did. Now I should.
Don't tell me it was your dog,
I should
Betty.
explain. This was destroyed before I owned it.
Oh.
So
Why did
one
you
of my
buy
class-
a
that
broken phone?
This is one of my classmates' old phones who upgraded to the 14 Pro Max, and from what he told me, one of his friends destroyed it.
Huh.
And so, it unfortunately has no Face ID assembly, so as a result, it does have looks like it has a front camera assembly, so it looks like it'll work, though it has an aftermarket battery in it, though the actual phone itself does work just fine. It's just and it runs iOS 17, though the battery, though obviously I can't test this phone right now, and I'll have to take it to a repair shop because I can't leave.
Dude,
this
when you
screen
said you were going to
running
get an iPhone 10s to just finally end the dispute between whether it's a good phone or not, I didn't think you'd get this for what?
I didn't pay for this phone.
Okay, good, but how is this supposed to help you get a good experience with the 10s Max or the 10s or whatever version it is?
Oh no, it's not. It will hopefully be a good addition to my collection.
I don't know, man.
This phone does work just fine besides the screen and Face ID.
Surprises me. Was the Face ID already broken before, or was that...
The
Your
Face
buddy's
ID
friends
sensor
do
is
it.
gone, so there will be no way to resurrect Face ID.
How much are you gonna pay to get that thing fixed?
I'll probably just take it to the local repair shop, and I don't know how much they'll charge for it though.
Dude,
It's
they're
just a
gonna charge you
screen.
more than the phone's worth.
It's just a screen
Yeah.
replacement, so it doesn't cost.
Is the back
So it shouldn't
glass
cost
smashed?
that much to fix.
Is the back glass destroyed on that thing?
No, it's actually in really good condition on the back and sides.
Dude, that thing's probably got shock damage. Did your buddy's friend or whatever, like,
I have no idea.
smash
I
it
have no
on the
idea how
floor?
this phone got destroyed. All I know
Dude,
is
that
that
thing's
got.
board has got to have like missing components and stuff.
You can see it right here.
Actually, no, we
I don't
can't.
know,
You got
man.
it above the camera. Yeah, we still can't see it. You have it
I
above the
can't see
camera.
it, dude.
Oh, it doesn't look like it has any missing components from what I can see.
Lower.
No.
Watch
lower.
them charge you like $400
There.
for that thing.
Oh, I'm not paying Apple to charge. I'm not paying Apple to fix this. It's not worth that much.
You know what they
Your
do
repair
if you
shop
actually
might-
took it there, right? They just replace it with a brand new iPhone, not a tennis.
No, they replace it with an XS.
My repair
you serious?
shop actually would. My repair
Yeah,
shop
they,
would fix this.
So my buddy had a XS Max and it exploded on him, and he took it to Apple. It was out of warranty and all, and Apple gave him a brand new XS Max replacement, or it was refurbished, but yeah,
They still keep them in stock?
they had to order
Oh.
one.
That's crazy.
I read
But
somewhere.
yeah,
Apple still repairs iPhone 4s and 4Ss, so I think they keep them in stock
apparently.
too.
I've actually asked them about that in store. They say it depends on who is in store because I guess some people aren't trained on those.
Jeez. That assures
Yeah, but
that I still
Apple-
have decent support
one-
for this thing.
Yeah, my buddy took it in, and they replaced it for free. The thing was out of warranty for years too.
Wow.
It was weird. He wanted them to replace it with a 14 Pro Max, which was at the time the latest. But I said to him, I said, dude, you're gonna have to say that you work for like CNN or something, dude. They're not gonna replace that thing for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Jeez,
Well,
I
there's
did
actually-
not expect to hear that. Those
There's
special
one
order
YouTuber-
tennis Max, like you'd think, wouldn't that cost more to special order the same thing that's not in production anymore, instead of just getting the cheapest thing you got on the shelf that still functions?
I have no idea, man.
Apple way, sir.
You know, it's funny. You can probably take a 4 in for repair, and they would probably give you an iPhone XR as a loaner. Think of that. Imagine getting
To me,
an
that's
XR
crazy.
as a loaner when you take your 4 in for repair. Because they give you an XR as a loaner as repair. I had a couple of my buddies tell me when they got their junk repaired, they gave like an iPhone XR as a little loaner.
That's cool.
Oh, I read somewhere there was one YouTuber on Twitter. His name is Nick McAuliffe. He doesn't upload anymore, but back in 2019 he got an iPod Nano first generation at a flea market for $5, and it had the white screen of death. And he talked to Apple support about it, and they sent him a Nano 7th generation for free.
I might try and do that.
Wow. So I wonder,
That
what
seems
what
like it would
happens
be
if I
worth my
take my
time.
iPod Touch 6th Gen in with the expanding battery?
Try.
You should try. They might fix it. Or your iPhone 5C. They might actually try to fix them. Or I know
I
they'll
gotta
fix
see
the
what happens if I
5C.
do that.
I don't know, but don't recycle it because I'd buy that off you for like $5 if you're gonna recycle it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see what would happen. Except, when's the next time I'm going anywhere near an Apple store?
Try calling them.
Not anytime soon, like at all.
Try calling up the Apple guys.
Yeah.
I think I'd want to go in store and actually I'd want to walk in and see what they do.
Yeah,
I don't.
so would I.
I don't even remember the last time I went to an Apple store. iPod Touch 6th Gen. When was that released?
2015.
15.
Christmas of 2015. That's the last time I was at an Apple store.
When?
Oh,
Oh, that's been a while.
I know that
What do you mean
because my mom, my dad, and my grandmother, they all had iPod Classics that had various issues, dead hard drives, dead screens, or something like that. Took that into Apple to see. We all went down to Detroit for Christmas that winter, and we went to the Apple store, see what they do about the iPod Classics, and, well, two of them were just sent to the recycling center, but my mom picked up the brand new iPod Touch 6th generation.
She's
I'm
and
sorry, they
doesn't
recycle.
does she still use that thing for podcasts?
Yeah, actually, she does. She still uses that thing.
surprised.
No, when she... yeah, it's only for podcasts, because when she listens to Pandora, it's on her phone now. But, no, every time she... To her, the best podcast listening experience has to be on an Apple device. And she has an iPod, so that's how she listens to it.
Why doesn't she just get an iPhone?
I keep asking her that question myself, but actually the primary reason is price.
Why doesn't she just
Right now,
get...
like a Galaxy A50 back screen?
Well, she used to have that, but like the only reason why she has a Samsung Galaxy S23 right now was because this was during the promotion where basically you could trade in any Samsung Galaxy S phone and they'll give you an S23 for free.
Pretty cool.
So that is the only reason why she's on that high end of a phone right now. It's because she's a deal hunter. And to her,
Right.
iPhones are not smart. You should not be spending the type of money we would spend on smartphones. She doesn't value her smartphone like we do. So because
But
of
she's
that,
addicted to... But she has three different devices, like an iPod Touch, her Galaxy... does she still use her Galaxy S5?
once a month, yes, but
For what?
she has the game on there that she'll play every now and then.
What is it, like, not available on these new phones?
No, the problem is, if she were to... She can get it on the new phones, but she'd lose all of her data.
Okay.
Then just lose all your data then. It's just game scores.
I know. I know. I'm very surprised that she's not the type of person to care about games like this, but no, for some reason, this game, she
What
will
game
not
is this
upgrade her
game?
phone. Well, she will not... I don't know. No, it's not League of Quiz, because she plays that on her new Samsung. I don't know what it is, but
Puzzle
it's
game or
just there's this...
something?
I don't know what the game is. I just don't know. It's probably some quiz game or something like that. Because her type of gaming, again, not everybody is into AAA first-person shooter games. Like, no, they're the way other people play games. Like me, flow free, chess. Her, quizzes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of her quiz games that's on her S5 that is still the reason why she has not gotten rid of it.
Was it going to go to recycling whenever she gets rid of it?
I don't know what's ever going to happen to that thing. I might take it for collection purposes, but
Yeah, I think you should. That would be cool.
yeah.
You
But
could,
first, she has to get rid of it, and she still hasn't. She will not let me take that. She won't even let me take back the A50, despite that she doesn't use it anymore.
Oh, she should let you take that back. That's just rude.
She's got no use for it. I never see her use it. But Yeah, and I've been looking for an Android phone to do some Android content with lately, and to my knowledge, it's still getting the latest Samsung updates, so I'm pretty sure that will be expiring very soon.
Nah, I don't think so. Actually, I think they got rid of that a while back.
But yeah. Yeah, the reason why she doesn't get an iPhone is because she's a deal hunter, and she does not value her smartphone as much as we value ours. The only reason why she has the S5, it's not because she likes the S5, it's because of that game she plays on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents were some of the last people ever to switch to a smartphone.
Yeah, they switched in 2018.
So yeah, they were so onto their flip phones for as long as possible, and they ended up having to upgrade because the 3G towers were going out of service.
Yeah.
They make 4G flip phones though.
If you're gonna upgrade, then upgrade to something good, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, my parents,
Yeah,
the quality of your smartphone is not important to them. What matters is they have access to be able to do what they need to do. They don't care the budget. They don't care what phone it is. As long as it functions, it's fine.
That's why
honest,
that's why your
I'm kinda
parents
jealous
love
that they're in
Windows
that
so
position.
much.
Well, my dad argues against Mac because for what he needs to do, Mac OS actually won't do a great job with it. Like, there is a reason why you won't find that many Macs in the engineering space. Can they do it? Yes. But most of the engineering programs run on Windows.
Nah.
Because keep in mind, he used to use a Mac for college. And then the reason why my mom is Windows is because my grandpa is hardcore Windows, and he's a tech enthusiast, so that does kind of influence it. But because he's so hardcore Windows, that influence has expanded to my mom. And also, yeah, you can get PCs cheaper than Macs, although I don't know about you, but in terms of the desktop space, that Mac Mini is looking like a really compelling desktop option for the price.
I know.
for sure.
But yeah, for some people, it's not really about having the best hardware to do what you need to do. And like again, these are average Joes. Their experience is not determined by numbers on paper.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm kind of jealous of that because I would like to save money in a few areas, but I value the smartphone too much. And so that's why I spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah, that's why I value my. Yeah, it's but getting back on sort of on topic. I'll be interested to see once I get my 10s fixed. I'll be interested. Do you guys think I should potentially do a video where I maybe try to switch to it for a week or something to see which side is correct about the 10s?
Because you want a Face ID and it's a used phone that's been abused, I don't think it's going to lead to a good experience. Like, would you agree in this regard, Tabby?
I mean, I just want the whole thing to be over.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to talk about an XS again. I don't ever
That
want.
is true, this time it's also
I hate to say it, but I'm waiting for the day when the phone's obsolete because I've had
So
people coming out
annoying.
because of that. People don't like the fact that I said their phone, and this is not even related to Alpha. Random kids online.
Mm-hmm. Well, my opinion, if you have a bad experience, you should be able to share it. In fact, oftentimes it's bad experiences that will fix things in the future.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
As John Foster said, frustration is the key to change.
some people just need to understand that what they say online.
Yeah.
isn't
Like,
just
I know
words.
I'll get some hate every now and then, and I hate how I've been so negative in a lot of my videos lately, but I'm doing it because I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
They're
And you're
going in a
not
direction
attacking any
I don't agree with. I'm not going to
You're
attack
not-
people who buy iPads despite that the software sucks. It's just if they want
Yeah, I mean,
my
you don't
personal
attack
opinion on the
me.
matter. Yeah. Yeah, it's just if you want my personal opinion on the matter, it's not to buy it because at the moment there's better options than what they're currently offering today.
Yeah.
So I'm being negative because I want change, and I act angry at Windows. You've seen my Windows rants. Like, have you actually seen how angry I got in that Windows rant?
Oh yeah.
No, I did not watch the overdrive parts.
I do believe I did actually.
Yeah, you
It was a
saw
while
how
ago
angry I
since it
got,
came out, probably.
and I got that angry because
For a rightful reason.
yeah, they deserved every bit of it. And to continue to act like status quo, let's continue, there's nothing wrong here yet. To me, that's not acceptable. They need to do something. And at this point,
100%.
they keep getting worse. So because they keep getting worse, I'm going to get angrier and angrier and angrier until they realize, you know what, maybe we should probably do something about this.
Even Windows 98 got the blue screen of death when it was being demostrated for the first time by Bill Gates.
That was
And that was 25 years ago.
So yeah, to me, criticism should not be censored. Because
It really
when you have an
shouldn't.
actual problem with it, then you should be able to state it just fine. And sure, maybe the viewer might not have experienced this in general, but the fact is, this experience happened.
Yeah, and I've been very clear with how I understand the 15 Pros suck. 14 Pros suck. I've had a good experience, but I don't recommend them to people because, yeah, I've heard some stuff about them. And a lot of people just don't understand that. People say, oh, I've had a bad experience, so your good experience doesn't even matter. Not what I was saying, dude.
Yeah, and the case goes the other way around. I had a good experience, but that doesn't mean your bad experience doesn't matter at all.
Right.
And with electronics, usually an acceptable failure rate is 3%. So just because you get one of those 3% of phones doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy the phone.
Yeah, but it looks like phones are starting to get a bit better. So.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about the 15 Pro series because, boy, there's a lot of backlash. And I'm still trying to reserve judgment on it because I don't have the device, so I can't experience it for myself. But
Yeah,
when I do have an experience to report, I'm going to be honest. If it's good, lots of praise. And if it's bad, depending on how severely bad it is, you might see me get super angry and rage over the whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie here. I love the 15 Pro. Probably the best iPhone I've ever owned at this point. And these issues are unacceptable.
Yeah,
Apple.
I agree.
These are the people that made the iMac G3, the iPhone, 4. Well, not a good.
The original iPhone.
Yeah, these are the people that made iBooks, MacBook Pro, the iMac. These are the people who made the original iPad, which was pretty good.
These are the people who made
Apple.
Apple Silicon.
To this day, I don't believe there has been a bad Apple Watch, really. I haven't had a bad one yet. Series
There
7
truly
hasn't
has-
yet for me.
There truly has been no bad generation. Sure, there might have been a lack of upgrades in the Apple Watch, but there's been no truly bad generation of the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm planning to upgrade for my Series 7. More than one reason. A lot of people are probably going to call me stupid because it's the same thing. But
You upgrade from your Series 7?
No, and I'm planning to.
No. Are you going to get an Ultra 2?
Probably going to get a Graphite Series 9 stainless steel. Thing is, there's not really that much I can do with an Apple Watch with a frog awful battery. And well, the battery isn't all that bad, but it's going down a lot.
And my Apple Watch Series 7
Yeah.
doesn't have such great battery life anymore either, which is making me regret not buying the Ultra.
Yeah, and you know, my microphone doesn't work. Well, what
Oh,
am I
yeah,
gonna
that's
do
true.
about that? So,
Yeah, I believe you should upgrade if your
Buying-
current product is not doing what you need it to do. And even though the next generation might
Like how
not
I
be that
need
much
to upgrade-
different, well,
my Apple Watch did great. It was a great product. I'm going to keep it forever. And a great product. I need to upgrade eventually. Good time. I don't know how much longer they're going to stay with this design. I really do like this design.
I do too.
Seems like the
It's
stainless steel
so
Apple Watches might be
beautiful.
going away.
So do I.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I want to upgrade, because who knows how much longer they're going to keep this design.
That's like why I need to upgrade from my iPhone 11 Pro Max to my iPhone 14 Pro last year. My 11 Pro Max had no, it wasn't my gold one, but my gold iPhone 11 Pro Max, the battery life basically got so shot to the point where once it got to 50%, it basically went to zero very, very quickly without me using it.
Yeah, like my
And,
Apple Watch
and there were some times when I was charging it back up that I was worried if I was going to... There were even some times when I was using my 11 Pro Max that I was... In the last couple of months of it being my main phone, that I was worried if it was going to make it or not.
Yeah, you know, I have been sick, so I haven't been waking up as early as I normally do. I put this on around like 2, and it's at 76%. And that's been a pretty good day. You know, recently it's been really solid. I actually got a full day out of the Apple Watch a couple days ago because I forgot to plug it in.
I can get an average of 1 to 2 days on my Apple Watch, though. I used to be able to get 3 when I first got my Apple Watch Series 7, but I guess I shouldn't be blaming it all on my Apple Watch, since, keep in mind, back in February when I got my Apple Watch Series 7, my school banned Apple Watches, so...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Luckily, I
meanwhile...
don't have to deal with that policy anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, meanwhile, Tesla, will you please stop tweeting right now? I'm in the middle of a podcast. How's my Apple Watch been? The battery life has been so good for me. It actually auto-engaged the charge limiter.
Huh.
Like, I'll still get, if I charge it to 100%, I'll still get 2 days and still have more than 10% left over. And I genuinely don't know how I'm doing it.
Model.
I don't know how...
You have the 41 or the 45 millimeter?
Mine's the 45 millimeter.
Me and him have the exact same Apple Watch.
I have to have larger Apple Watches because my fingers are so big.
I think Apple Watches are mostly design preference, and
Yeah.
I think performance.
That's what watches are.
Specs, all that doesn't matter as much.
No, it doesn't.
That's why I got the smaller one. I just like how it looks more. Yeah, I like the battery. I'd really like the bigger screen size, but I don't like the look. Personal preference thing. But
That's why I wasn't
that's really
quite as fond of getting the Ultra.
that's probably why my battery has kind of gone down, because you guys have been hearing me for what, a year now, talking about how this thing has been geeking out.
Yeah. Oh, did I mention that I finally figured out the
It's
Siri
been
issues?
Yeah, it was.
You figured it out?
Yeah. Raise
We
to
talked about
speak.
that when,
There's a thing as
Got
raise
fixed?
to speak. No, it's a setting in the Apple Watch. Suppose it's a setting within the Siri settings, I believe, where you can raise your watch to speak.
So it's not Apple's fault at all!
Well, I'd say it is,
Oh, I
because
think
they
it's-
designed a feature that
I think it's
doesn't
Apple's
work.
fault that it's terrible.
Yeah.
But at least you can turn it off.
For me,
Yeah.
I had the opposite experience. I wanted it to work, never worked once.
Yeah,
Couldn't
for
get it
me,
to
it
work.
was a constant
Tried
annoyance
one.
because it would always act. I wouldn't even raise my arms. It would always activate when my arms are down.
Yeah, I even remember the day that my Apple Watch's microphone broke. April 6, 2023. Remember, I was trying to take a call on it, and I was like, what is wrong with this thing? Because that was when I didn't have the 14 Pro, so I couldn't accept calls. It wouldn't turn on. And, like, come on. Trying to get the 11 Pro Max set up so I can use that. My old 11 Pro Max, the old gold one, which my buddy Jerry now has. Anyways, Teddy, what's the next topic?
Oh, we're out of topics.
Oh,
Oh,
wait, no, yeah, we have one more.
Nope, we're out.
It's a new Apple event, October
Oh!
30th.
Oh, we can't cover. We're not going to cover that because this episode, I purposely did not cover that because that's because all the information that we cover about a new Apple event is going to be out of date by the time this episode releases.
I think
well,
we should
maybe
still
if you
talk about it
guys
somewhat
upload your
because-
clips to me
because-
tonight, I could get it done this weekend.
I actually have to upload last week's episode tonight, so
Hey, why don't we just talk about it so like we can see how accurate we are? Because I do. Want
no,
to see how
I
accurate
don't
we are.
want to. I don't like talking about press events this close. No, this is not. I don't like talking about press events this close before the releases because at this point, that's the reason why I explicitly avoid covering Apple events right before Apple rumors right before the weeks before Apple events is because I know they're probably going to be out of date by the time we cover them, and I'd rather just
To me, I enjoy listening to. So I like looking back at people's predictions and just watch. Oh, you're so wrong. It's cringy, I know, but it's just I get a little
Yeah, I
enjoyment
like
out of it
that
at
too.
least.
But it is 9 p.m.
Yeah, I'll say it. This will be the
Yeah, it's
first
8:08
Apple
PM
event
for
I'm
me.
finally home for. Finally, Apple
no,
picked a
I'm gonna have
time
to
where
wait
I'm
until-
home.
I'm gonna have to wait
Yeah.
until it's way late. I'm gonna have to wait until it's really late to do my reaction video of it, just because I don't like to watch Apple events live, and because that will actually
starts
be my
at
video
7.
instead of my Tuesday.
It starts at 7 your time, 8 here.
Yeah. So
What
I'll
day
have
of
to
the
get it
week is
out
that?
pretty late, but I'll have to. That will actually be in place of my Tuesday video because I have no time to make YouTube videos on Halloween.
Oh, it's only 4 days away. Wow, so that's on what, a Tuesday? Okay.
It's on Tuesday.
Oh. Okay.
Tuesday? When
I'm
is
excited
it
to see
again?
what they announce. I'm probably
When's
not
what
gonna buy-
again?
Halloween is a
I don't think I'm
Tuesday.
gonna buy any of the new stuff, but so it's on a Monday then.
I hope they release an iPad, otherwise this year will be so awkward.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'll be very. But it's highly unlikely that they won't. It's highly unlikely that they won't release an iPad just because they released a new Apple Pencil and it's not available until November, which seems a little odd to not release an iPad.
That is
I don't
just
know,
so
we'll have
odd.
to see.
Uh,
I think
Yeah, and by the time this episode is released, you probably would have already seen it, but should we go ahead and wrap up the show now?
Sure.
Alrighty. I got stuff to film too. And I'm already exhausted.
Well, as always, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the iTunes Fanboy Podcast, or TIFP. As always, I'm Teddy Maggart from the iTunes Fanboy.
I'm Tabby Cat from the Tabby Bears YouTube channel and friends.
My name is Alpha DeWolf from the Random Alpha.
And as always, we are signing off for now, and we will come back with the next episode where we will hopefully be talking about the new Apple products that Apple debuted at the event. But as
Watch
always,
it be a services event.
see you then. And
See ya.
goodbye.